So, Dave, what's the deal? Do you think there's more land beyond what we know?
I'll start that out with how would I know? But if I had to bet on it, I would say that there is. It's just my speculation. And again, I think there's you got the biblical flat earthers that say, well, God, created the firmament, and there can't be any more land. Well, who says the firmament is not a million miles past 60 degrees south? You know, who says? We don't know, but I don't know how far out it goes. I think that there's probably some land within the circle that we know about that we just don't know about that land. I think there is more lands. There's just so much. There's so much. There's, as Bob would say, a preponderance of evidence that there is more land, more civilizations that are being hidden from us. That's my opinion.
Man, the Pacific Ocean. I mean, when you even look at their ridiculous globe there, you turn it one, it's nothing but water. I mean, I think
Have
that
you gone on Google Earth and like zoomed in all over and looked at all of those islands out there?
they're
And
really,
like there's some crazy stuff and buildings out there, like where, you look at these islands, all the trees are planted in perfect rows, in the middle of nowhere.
but there could be extra lands out there in the middle of the oceans that we've only explored 10% of for some
Yes.
reason.
I agree.
Now,
You
I
know,
heard.
I had two whistleblower military guys. I still talk with one of them that he said they went to some bases in Antarctica that are unlisted. That are what the base that they went to was called Tigo, Antarctigo. They call it Tigo for short, and it's a huge mining operation. And there was another guy that said that there's cities of millions of people in Antarctica that are not allowed to communicate with us. Haven't seen it. Secondhand information. Interesting.
Would not surprise me. I mean, all
I mean,
the
wasn't it just 2 years back they discovered 7,000 additional missing islands in Japan?
right, and I mean,
Yep. Yep.
and the only information anybody ever gets is off the freaking news, man.
And let's just be real here, guys. Like, if you're paying 40, 50, 60% taxes and they don't want to ever crash the economy, it kind of makes sense that let's keep everybody constrained to what they do know rather than let's go somewhere else and actually not have to work until we're 65 years old and paying taxes the rest of our lives. You know?
Well, they gaslit us, man. They pulled the Truman Show on us, told us that everything already been explored. Magellan did his little Magellan Pass, almost crashed his boat. We had Christopher Columbus come around here and discover America, even though they had a globe. They could have just saw that it was faster to go around Africa, but they said we're going to go around 24,901 miles around the Earth there, and they found America. So that's the way it turned out,
They found America more developed than it is now.
right? I mean, seriously, there's 92,000 dams here, man. It's ridiculous.
But they left the day after Spain kicked all of them out.
Man, that's not weird at all. But yeah. Then we got here, and apparently we didn't know how to grow food, or that snow came from the sky, and we almost froze to death because we couldn't build a building and not freeze to death and make some corn or something. Thanksgiving, y'all. We got Thanksgiving out of it, though.
The
Man,
funny
what?
thing to me is how like everyone has this contention against flat Earth, right? It's like I don't trust the government. Coronavirus was like fake, and all these things. But then as soon as you bring up flat Earth, it's like, oh, they wouldn't lie about that. Like they might lie about everything else, but they wouldn't lie about that. It's like all of history. The more you look into history, the more you see how they've lied here, they lied there. History is written by the victors. It's not the true story, right? I mean, like any war,
It, it,
like World
it's
War
be-
Two,
it
you know.
it's because they get the kids at such a young age. What little boy doesn't start out by saying, "I want to be an astronaut"?
Right?
Yeah,
Or a
Right.
no.
So
fireman, or
they get
Facts.
your entire psyche is built upon the foundation of a spinning ball and outer space. And so when you build your whole world on that foundation, which isn't even a foundation, it's difficult to remove that from somebody.
And also, it's like, why would they lie? What do they have to gain from it? I think it's a big part, and I think a lot of it is them are they're typically atheists, and they gaslight us because we believe in God, right? So it's a hard one to pill to swallow. Sorry, and thanks, Flat Earth Dave, for being here. I appreciate you.
Here's how I see it. So when when untruths, lies, falsities are taught with total authority to a child or even an adult, it literally fractures their mind. It freezes their mind. It freezes it because they're like a little kid in school is like, well, the teacher's telling me this, and the kid is programmed before they even go to school that teachers are gods and they would never lie, and the textbooks are the gospel truth. And so the kids go to school and they go, oh, the earth is spinning and it's orbiting around the sun and it's doing all this and the lies of history. So all of that, so they're storing that as truthful information. So that literally freezes their mind, and when their mind gets filled with this garbage, it fractures their connection with higher consciousness. With higher realms of thought, and that's their whole goal, is to separate us from those higher realms. You might call that spiritual connection to God or to higher consciousness, or to memory, like akashic records or whatever you want to call it, higher consciousness. That's they want to separate us from that power, from that. And then they're doing stuff, like who knows what all that spray in the sky is doing. Is that also helping disconnect us? And then they poison us with turning us into human pincushions and poisoning us. And then the news steering your mind northeast, west, south news.
Hey,
So all
real
all of
quick,
that
real
together.
quick, Dave, real quick. Hey, Ken, TM, are you guys there? Ken, TM. Hello.
I think they both
Yeah, I'm
fell
still here.
asleep.
You still there? Can you see if you can get Alan up here? It shows we got another spot open, but keeps on saying error trying to add him up here. Are you there, Ken?
I'll try to.
Yeah, I'm here. Let me know. I can drop to give space. I also posted Stone's last 2 episodes in the nest, and David's in your inbox or
Yeah,
in your
thanks,
text.
man. That was cool.
Thanks, JT.
You're welcome.
Yeah, continue about that though, Dave, because I've started to see that spraying going around in my skies. It's new, and it start forming hail out of nowhere in summertime. But uh, some people are talking about the aluminum content in there getting into agriculture, which you
Oh,
consume, and obviously that's going to
yeah.
do some DNA damage. And like you're saying, it alludes to becoming a pincushion or just
Yep.
doing everything that you're told, right, without thinking.
Well, all of that. I mean, it is multifaceted. But, besides poisoning the soil, stopping plants from
Well,
pulling up
sure.
nutrients, or
That
now
should be
they're
allowed.
poisoned with aluminum. That's one thing. Personally, for me, just my theory, I think that the clouds, the beautiful cumulus morphing clouds, what holds memory? Water holds memory. Water has, like, a drop of water holds terabytes of information. I think that all memory is stored in water. I don't think we even know. I don't think anyone even understands what water is. And to me, the clouds above, that those are literally just the heavens above. I think the clouds. This is just crazy flat Earth Dave talking. Are sentient. They're angelic, if you will. And then if you look at the spraying, when they have beautiful cumulus clouds with nice sharp edges and stuff, um, then they spray and it turns them into a slurry. I think that is literally a war on the heavens right above us. I look up and it is horrifying what I see, and I see it differently than most people do. So that's how I see it, and I think that they're doing everything they can to change the frequency, change our connection, poison our minds, poison our bodies, and it's all to try to control us.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
It is.
You definitely do wonder what's going on with some of these networks, and you hear of them dispersing clouds through quote unquote 5G networks, and just the random headaches you may get, and are they pulsating frequencies? Like, you don't even know, right?
Natural clouds versus fake clouds. So, if you have the rare chance in the United States here of seeing a natural cloud day, take a look, pay attention to them, look at them, and then watch what happens when they start spraying the sky. It's a war against natural versus unnatural, and you can extrapolate that out as far as you want. But I think that this is a very spiritual world that we're in. We're on the lowest, densest level, and then there's some people say there's 12 heavens above us, and we're looking up at the cloud layer is the first heaven. Just our lower atmosphere is the first level. That's just crazy Dave talking, crazy flat earther.
And then you're saying about the kids in school with like being astronauts and whatnot. They don't teach these kids how to think or how to like deduce things, right? They're teaching you what to like regurgitate and memorize,
Right,
and it's just completely backwards to like how you should actually learn. Like I remember getting disciplined for asking questions because the teacher would always tell my mom every time he raises his hand, he's going to ask a question that I don't know the answer to, right? Because if it's not in the book, the teacher doesn't know it, right?
right,
So it's just nonsense how they abuse these children. Then they slap some Ritalin in the parent's pocket because little Timmy can't pay attention in fucking class, instead of like taking them outside and saying, here, let's grow a garden, let's play in the dirt, let's do something productive and learn with your hands,
right.
as opposed to just sitting there at a desk regurgitating and memorizing all fucking day long.
Yeah.
I don't think you become smart like in elementary and whatnot from, yeah, just having kids sit there mindlessly and listen to a teacher locked into a chair for 8 9 hours a day and then traveling.
You
It's
become a
insane.
good worker and a taxpayer that way, though, and that's really what it's intended to put out,
Yeah.
right? You ever seen those
I-
comparisons with the school buses in the prison? The bus, lunch, cafeteria, the
Yeah,
activity,
Man,
respond to a bell. It's like, oh shit, that's all right. You know what? It's no different. I just realized, except that's what it trains
that
you
was
for.
a crazy comparison. I've seen that.
Training a non-playable character.
imagine sending your
That's what it
kid.
is to me. It's near there.
Yeah, you send your kids to school to jail for 12 years to learn how to operate
To
those
regurgitate.
Just smart enough to go to work and not ask
Yeah,
questions.
and pay taxes that are voluntary.
they're raising a generation of non-playable characters as opposed to free thinkers.
And people say, "Hey, Brian, you're crazy when you say stuff like that." I'm all like, "There's people out there that think there's more than two genders. And they got taught that in school."
Would you believe 6?
Man.
It's all
And then
Kabbalah
they're
shit
doing
Right.
some
anyway.
crazy math. Have you seen the Common Core math? Oh my goodness! What evil person came up with Common Core math? I mean, seriously. Take this box here and turn it. It's like what?
You ask somebody that like school's great and everything. You say, have you ever heard of vortex mathematics or sacred geometry? And they've never heard of it. If for those of you that don't know what vortex mathematics is, go on YouTube and search vortex mathematics. So there's a guy named Randy something, I think, with his whiteboard. It'll blow your mind. It's so fascinating. And then of course sacred geometry. That's the real stuff. That's the stuff that'll teach you how this world works. But they want to just teach you slave math, algebra and accounting and corporate slave math.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds a bit like Rodin too.
Yikes.
Rodin, the guy taught a lot of toroid shape, symmetry, and electromechanics. I mentioned him very briefly in that other Glowbusters thingy you're gonna watch.
Awesome.
Dude, I'm a
So
prof-
I assume that the yin and the yang represented the sun and the moon, and the whole idea that the moon sort of caught the energy of the sun and was offsetting in a different unknown way. Does that not make sense to people like the Chinese yin yang sign?
I mean, that's what it appears to be. I haven't thought it to be anything else. I think the sun powers everything from us to plants to the earth to everything.
I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
I think the sun and the
Oh,
moon do. I think the dynamic system of those two interactions causes like everything: the tides, the weather, the spin, like the magnetic, like blood, night and day. It's the dynamic cause of I think every system that we know of.
Yeah, they definitely both have an effect. I mean, especially on like crops and stuff. The moon's actually doing some crazy stuff for it too.
so I was driving home one night in like 2019, and this crazy dude was on the radio. Oh shit! I got a baby to do it.
Oh,
Real quick, Dave, I've actually had a discussion with Truth GPT. It was like 2 years ago. I tagged you in the post where it was talking about the clouds being sentient.
There's a lot of, shall I say, evidence of it, but again, I don't know if our minds are even able to fully comprehend what that means. I mean, if you think about it, you know, the heavens above, we're saying they're non-physical angels, if you will, or whoever's in heaven. Well, the clouds are kind of non-physical. Planes fly through them, no problems. They're supposedly made of megatons of water, but float in the sky for some reason. Water holds memory. Well, it looks like they look like brains. If you watch them morphing, it's just very, very, very interesting.
Think about when we were kids,
The
right?
Bible
We'd be
does
down on
count.
the grass, looking up, and it would say, "Hey, that cloud looks like an elephant." And suddenly, it looks like an elephant. How do we know if our minds, as young kids, weren't influencing that?
Could
Yeah.
be, but you say that water holds memory and stuff, and then it comes down as snowflakes and stuff. Sometimes it froze like that. What
Yep.
the heck? What the heck is it remembering? Looking like that? Is
Well,
it?
you guys have seen the Dr. Emoto stuff, but there's another woman that's taken his work to the next level, um, where she can get water and literally give it a thought or write a word or and it freezes and shows those images and it remembers it. So
I saw
you know,
one where it was just taking the seed of a like an apple or whatever and putting freezing it and made an apple or like a sun. It took a sunflower seed, made a picture of a
yep,
sunflower in there.
100%. And they what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so water holds memory. You can say kind things to water, put love on a bottle, and it changes the structure of the water. So think about that. Think how that would affect your body. So when people pray over their food, they're literally praying to the water in the food, and the water changes the structure, and that's how it affects you. So the water to me is literally like the physical manifestation of God, because it's everywhere. You can't live without it. It's in you, it's around you, it's everywhere. And without water, there's no life.
Well, Genesis chapter 1, what existed other than God in the beginning? It was just the waters of the deep.
Yeah.
Water.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Let me take you back to an incident that took place in Miami 2024. I think it was January 1st, when hopefully you know what I'm talking about. They dispatched, it looked like 100,
Every,
150
every
plus
cop,
troops.
right?
Now, anybody in the audience, or maybe even on the stage, knows that even a shooting incident wouldn't disperse this many cops. I don't even think like a multiple homicide would disperse this many cops. I could be wrong,
You talking
but
about Miami?
yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, they brought the whole
Is
police
Corey
force,
here?
almost the whole state down there. For what? For a B&E? I don't think so, man.
right? What happened, Dave? What do you think?
Wait, are you asking me what happened in Miami?
What do you think happened in Miami? Because you
Something
obviously
big
saw
went
something.
down.
I didn't see any. I mean, I just saw the news reports. Um, I they made, who knows, maybe there was some giants there. Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, that definitely was weird though. But yeah, they're claiming alien. And then here's the thing, man. There's no phone footage of anything. No one busted out their phone. I mean, People will bust out their phone for anything. If they would have had phones on the Titanic, they would have busted them out, man. Being like, oh, here we go. No one.
And not one single like dash cam released or anything, right?
But yeah, they brought the whole of the police force. They said, everybody show up, come into this location, and then it just disappeared. Where did that story go from? I remember. I didn't forget about
Crazy, eh?
I didn't forget about aliens at the mall in beginning of 2024, man.
I did. Pepperidge Farm plumb forgot about that one.
Just like I didn't forget about the 2.7 trillion that got lost in the Pentagon.
And to go back on that footage from Miami, what if there is footage? All our phones are, we don't know these companies and who puts them out there, but they could have deleted everything. Everything's on the cloud, essentially.
The whole Miami thing, I don't know. I mean, it could be biblical. It could be like some other being from some other land, showed up or came out from under the ground, or who knows. Again, I wasn't there. Just saw a big police response, and a big cover up. So don't know.
Yeah, you just don't dispatch that many officers and cruisers to anything other than like
You know what's crazy is they'll say that the government does this and they don't trust the government here and they don't trust the government there, and you're like, hey man, the Earth is flat, and they go, well, why would they lie about that? Like, why would they lie about any of that stuff you just don't agree with? I mean, how many times has a liar got to lie before you start questioning everything they do and say?
Yeah, the why the lie is, the answer is, how would I know? I'm not the one lying. But the real answer is, there's so many reasons. It is the most important lie to keep us under control. So it's about control, because if you don't know where you are, who you are, what this place is, the power of this place, the power that you have, that's how they control you. They keep you in fear. The only way they can control you here is just keep you in fear. And that's the only thing. That's probably the only true statement a president ever said. The only thing to fear is fear itself. And fear, of course, is false evidence appearing real. So that's
I mean, my
that.
whole life, I've been waiting for the asteroid to hit Earth that they say it was going to hit Earth. I mean, there's always an asteroid on the way to Earth.
Wait no
Well,
further. That Atlas, was that Atlas 3I or whatever it is?
Atlas AI or I don't know what is it called. Three Atlas,
3i. Yeah, 3i
three
Talk
eye
Atlas.
about
Atlas.
talk about
What a
keeping
run.
everybody in fear. Oh, we're going to end up like the dinosaurs. We're
well,
going to get hit by an asteroid.
Well, it's not even about fear. So fear state is part of it, right? But the other thing is to get people to surrender their individual knowledge and critical thinking to authority in the government, right? Which is how they did it with COVID. Like, you don't know. I'm going to give you so many conflicting instructions that you're going to have to turn to the experts, and you can't believe your own senses. Then you apply that to the globe with the foundational, infrastructure of NASA and the government and the authoritative, science and scientism. Well, again, look, you can't trust what you see. It looks like the sun's moving, but you're spinning backwards faster than the speed. Like it looks like everything's moving around you, but actually you're moving around everything. And, it looks like, so you couple that with the constant fear state of, okay, put you in that state to make the choice, and then have to convince you to make the choice to surrender your individual critical thinking to them, and then that's how they control you. Those two things together, for sure.
that's like a high IQ thought process of it, and I definitely agree.